I refused to give up my front row spot at a concert to someone claiming to be disabled, so I flew to another country to see this artist I've been obsessed with for like 6 years. This wasn't just any concert for me, this was the concert. I'd been saving up for months, skipping meals, picking up extra shifts, the whole deal. And since this was probably my only shot at seeing them live, I wasn't messing around. I showed up to the venue at 5 in the morning, 5 a.m. It was freezing cold, like the kind of cold where your fingers go numb and you can't feel your toes anymore. Doors weren't opening until 7 that night. Yeah, I waited 14 hours in that line. No food, barely any water because I didn't want to lose my spot to use the bathroom. But when those doors finally opened, I sprinted inside and got myself a front row barricade spot, dead center. Perfect view of the stage. I was literally touching the railing. This was everything I'd been dreaming about. The venue started filling up and I'm just standing there soaking it all in. Then this dude behind me taps my shoulder. He's tall, like really tall, probably 6 foot something. I'm 5'1" on a good day. He tells me he's disabled and that the venue was supposed to let disabled people in early, but they messed up. Then he straight up asks me to give him my spot. Now look, I'm not heartless. I know this venue actually has great accommodations for disabled people. My friend went to a show here last year and they took her to the front during a special time slot before it got crowded. They have a whole system for this. So I'm confused why he's asking me instead of talking to security. But here's my problem. If I give him my spot, I literally won't see anything. He's over a foot taller than me. He'd completely block my view. I waited 14 hours in the freezing cold for this. I spent money I didn't really have. This was my one chance. I tried to be helpful. I pointed to the right side of the barricade where there were still open spots. I told him he could go there, hold onto the rail for support, and he'd still have an amazing view because of his height. He said no, said the view wasn't as good as where I was standing. While we're talking, those spots fill up, and he starts getting more pushy. He tells me he'll have a hard time if he can't take my exact spot. I'm getting annoyed now because this doesn't add up. I told him if his disability was that serious, he should be in the accessible section. The venue has one specifically designed for people with disabilities with perfect views. Or he could have brought a cane or something for support. Or he could literally just ask security right now to escort him to the disabled seating area up front. He stared at me for a second, then called me an asshole and told me to get fucked. Then he just walked away into the crowd. The concert started about 20 minutes later, and I didn't see him again. I stayed in my spot the whole show, had the time of my life, cried during like 3 songs. But I kept thinking about that interaction. Did I mess up? Should I have just moved? But then I remembered, this venue has multiple options for disabled people. Accessible seating, early entry, security escorts. If he really needed accommodation, he had plenty of ways to get it that didn't involve taking my spot specifically. The more I thought about it, the more it felt like he just saw a short person up front and figured I'd be an easy target to guilt into moving.